Devotees, we are meeting again one more time at Bharat Sevasram Sangha in New Jersey. As you all know, we are continuing a class from last 2 weeks. Today is the third class. At the beginning, let me bow down to our Guruji, Srimad Swami Pranavanandaji Maharaj, and of course our present monk in charge, Swami Amarathananda. Before we start, let's do a short prayer. Om Sahana Bhavatu, Sahana Bhunaktu, Sarva Varim, Karabhavai, Tejas, Vinabhoti, Tatasmastuta, Vidisha Swami, Om Shanti, Shanti, Shanti. May we be protected together, may we nourish together, may we work vigorously together, and may our studies illuminate us. May there be no dislike between us. Let there be peace, peace, peace. With that, let's summarize what we did last 2 classes. On the first class, we talked about why we need spirituality. That is a very basic question, and we discussed about that. Why we come to the temple, why we do. Even a lot of people spend their energy and time and get involved with all these rituals. We discuss why we need spirituality and why we come here. And second class, we discussed who am I? I do the prayer, I do the spiritual studies. Very obviously this question comes, who am I? Who is this I? And we tried to discuss that. And I think we mentioned about how we start discussing one after other, starting from body, mind, intellect, and step by step we try to end with Brahman. Brahman is that last thing. After neti, we try to analyze who am I, and very logically we can see I am not the body, I am not the mind. Shankaracharya had the very famous verse, Mano Buddhi Ahankara, we all studied there. So we talked about Annamaya Kosha, this body, Pranamaya Kosha, which is the Pranovayu, the air, Manomaya Kosha, and then Vijnanamaya Kosha, the intellect. At the end, what is left, who is the witness of all this, is the Supreme Brahman. This analysis is very logical, and we also touch base the difference between duality and non-dual Brahman. With Upanishad, the study is non-dual. Throughout the world, most of these religions are duality. Somewhere there is a God and I am here. I worship God. God is creator. God is keeping all this. And the issue with the modern time with that is, a lot of young people will ask, did you see God? And we all have that question. And a lot of our spiritual leaders fail there. Some of them possibly saw it. We heard stories. Once in a lifetime, possibly somebody says, yes, I saw God. We know story of Ramakrishna, who said, yes, I saw God. And he said that I can show you. That was the question Vivekananda started with. Did you see God? Straightforward question. We all should have that question. So, in duality, it works. The key word in duality is bhakti, devotion. Somebody going to have blind devotion, believe there is God, then only it works. Then also, the question is, where is God? God is somewhere. It's not here. Maybe in the heaven, in the Brahmalok, or somewhere up in the sky. So there is a time and space. You can see God after you die. So there is a time frame. Not today. I have to wait until I die. And then I even don't know what I see. And a lot of us believe that. But people can see God with the unwavering devotion. And that form is, it could be by a child. To a lot of us, lot of people are, Sri Krishna is that baby Sri Krishna. They worship that. Lot of people is guru, father, parents, father, mother, any elderly, then guru. Advaita doesn't discuss that. Advaita says, it's here, I can show you. You start logically analyzing, and then you see that God is here, Brahman is here. And the process is, we take one at a time and then break it. Start analyzing and then see that it's a subject. Body is a subject, because if I know this is the body, and somebody knowing that this is the body, the object and subject cannot be the same. I am not the I. When I see it, somebody else seeing. The senses, the equipment is different from the somebody who is watching it. And then we try to discuss that step by step. Annamaya kosha, which is our body, which is nothing but food. Food make our body, and then at some point it goes away. Then pranamaya kosha, this pranovayu, oxygen. Without that, we don't survive. But is that me? And we analyze, no, it is not me. It is different. It is again subject. It is again object. It is not the subject. It's not the knower. Somebody knowing all this, somebody knowing this is my body. And all of this has creation, decay, and finish. At the end of death, we don't have pranavayu, we don't have manomaya kosh, we don't have annamaya kosh, we don't have vijnanamaya kosh. Vijnanamaya kosh is the intellect. But that also is an object. It's not a subject. It's not the knower. So at the end, what is left over? That is the Brahman. I am that. So if I am that, then how do you realize that? We realize by realization, by study. By study, we know the grammar. Yes, it happened. And then it comes the realization. Monona, sravana, monona, nidhishan. So we heard this story. Somebody, a lot of gurus, Upanishad said it. Okay, that's sravana. We study it. Monona is I think about it. It's possible. Somebody told me that there is a queen in England. And then I start thinking, yes, this could be logical because millions of people told me that. We continuously say scripture said it. So lot of people said it. So okay, I take that. Then no. It has to make myself. I have to judge. Is it my logic? So that digestion, that is the monon. And then we meditate on it. Then we continuously think about it. Today's class we talked about is once we know it, Brian brought that question. Once we know it, then what? How do we practice it? And today we'll talk about that. As we start talking, Nirgun Brahman is absolute. In Buddhism, we talked about that also. In Buddhism, that at that stage, it says Shunno, nothing else. Advaita says no, because it cannot be Shunno, it cannot be vacuum, it cannot be zero. Because somebody knowing all this. Then the question comes, all this world around, what is this? There has to be a logic for it. And that's where comes Shagun Brahma and Nirgun Brahma. Brahman comes through this whole world. Each and every entity in this world is a reflection of Brahman. Shankha philosophy tells us that this Shagun Brahman is part of that Nirgun Brahman. Nirgun because Brahman has no quality. We cannot explain it. We cannot touch it. It's all pervading. It's all around us. In everything we see, every creation, every piece of drop of water is there. Advaita tells us that it's not that Brahman is here. So is that mean millions of Brahman is running around? No. It says these are all reflection of the same Brahman. It's the exactly same thing. There is a very subtle difference between Shankha and Advaita. Advaita tells that the same Brahman in all of us. But again, all this is mithya, virtual. Just like the same sun could be reflected in 10 pots of water. So does that mean there is piece of sun in every pot? No. There is same gold, a bucket of gold could be a bangle, could be a necklace, or could be a ring. Is that means that gold is piece by piece? No. Because once you get that form and shape and form, it's all gold. It doesn't have any other entity. So Brahman is that. And the terminology we use is Shagun Brahman, Nirgun Brahman. When Brahman comes in this world, then is Shagun Brahman. But Brahman with all its all-pervading, powerful thing, without any character, without any existence, so to say, because it's not bound by time and space. Everything we see, everything we do is bound by time and space. This body is here, at some point it will not be there. I am here today, tomorrow I could be somewhere else. The water, river starts from the high land, it slowly comes to down. It's the same river. Time and space. Brahman has no time and space. It's all around in everything. So the concept of Shagun Brahman, and Nirgun Brahman. Nirgun Brahman. In this point comes the idea of Maya. Then what is this? This is all bound by Maya. If you say it's virtual, it is lie, it's mithya, that's the word. Mithya is not a lie, it's kind of, say it's virtual. It has no real existence. We cannot touch it, feel it, because anything that is here today, not there tomorrow, that cannot be real. That is temporary, is bound by time and space and causation. So with that parameter, it works, it's fine. And a lot of people ask, then why this distress? Why this misery? Why rich, poor, all these things? Because with that game, it's fine. When we are watching a movie, in the movie, it's a lot of things happening. But once the projector is off, it has no existence. But as long as the movie is running, it's true. We see fight, we see killing, we see all the emotion and all that. So behind the scene is this strength, which is Brahman. So we say the word religion. What is religion? I think it's got a, so to say, not so good translation in English, dharma. Dharma is the ethics. Dharma is the quality. Dharma is very hard to say because we dump it all in English word religion. Dharma is not religion. Dharma is the nature, the true form of each and every identity. Every man, woman, or object. Book, what is book's dharma? Book's dharma is, you have pages, its shape and form, and the content in it. A man has dharma. Dharma is something that's inherent in my quality. So what is our dharma? Dharma is greatest good for the maximum number of people. If Brahman in everybody, then if I can serve each and every one, then I serve Brahman. And that's where the modern time is very strong, this charity business. And our ashram, Bharat Sevashram Sangha, it's not the temple, it's not the worship, it's not the puja. It is the service. Hundreds of monks goes to a disaster, running hospitals, running schools. Why? Because every one of these human beings is part of that Brahman. That is at the key. Guru Pranavananda ji started this movement, and the name of the organization is Shevashram. Sheva, the service. Now the question is, what is my logic? Why I am going to go ahead and serve it? It's a very logical question. I don't have any interest to do that. The question is, I am all part of this. I am serving for myself because I am not out of it. And today we know logically that a disease, a catastrophe, a weather change, somewhere in this world, somewhere in this universe is impacting me. If that is true, I have to be aware about it. I don't have to conserve energy, but the question is, at some point there will be no energy possibly. So I have to serve my fellow being, fellow animal, all this creation. I have to be aware about it because it's all Brahman. On the other hand, it is for my good. I protect the tree. It's not to serve you, it's for myself. But at the same time, These rishis knew this thousands of years back, that you will see in Sanatana Dharma, continuously we worship different plants. Flower, of course, is a big part of our worship. But we worship a lot of plants. Today, in young people, they are planting trees. Plant is very key to our survival, for our oxygen. Today we know, 100 years back we didn't notice all those things. So question is, things we learn, we change. But these rishis, these knowledgeable people knew that long time back that we are part of this whole universe. Somewhere, something, some bacteria working, and I'm going to suffer out of that. So I have the interest to protect malaria, protect people from malaria in Africa, or China, or in India, or somewhere else. I cannot live in an island. And I am part of that Brahman. So the Brahman is all around, in everything. Now, what a spiritual devotee will do once he realizes this? What is the practice? That was the question Brian had. What is the practice? And this book, Bhagavad Gita, explained that so methodically, so much in detail, that we don't have to study 10 million books. It's all here. And one word is, we think about this Brahman. What is that? Dhyana, meditation. It's a very popular word nowadays. But I want to point out how the chapters even organized in Bhagavad Gita. If we see the Bhagavad Gita, it didn't say, by that time the devotee knows there is an existence of Brahman. Now he got to meditate on it. It's not the first chapter. It's not the first chapter. What is the first chapter? Is Arjuna is confused. He's lost. Who is Arjuna? He had all the knowledge, all the studies. He's not a stupid guy from somewhere. He did all the traditional knowledge he had. And even then, he's confused. In the battlefield, he doesn't know what to do. And so that's the Arjuna Vishada joke. He's depressed. He's lost. He needed answer. How the author organized this? So beautiful. Second chapter, Shankho. In Shankho, if someone wants to study one chapter of Bhagavad Gita, it could be Shankho. If you do chapter 2 and chapter 18, as a minimum, that will give you a gist of Bhagavad Gita. So the author gives whole picture in chapter 2. He tells who we are, where we came from, what happened after we die. It's very clearly said. Shankho we recite when we lost our relatives, our parents. Shankho has beautiful verses. And Sri Krishna explained that I am that truth. So don't worry about this dead person, because it was just the body. It was just changing the clothes. He's not gone, because he is Brahman. Third chapter he comes, Karma Yoga. See, no matter what we do, we are working. We are breathing, and we wanted to survive, right? So work is there, karma is there, we like it or not. And what logic I have not to do karma? So he explained karma yoga. Third chapter, so look at this. He could have said first chapter, go ahead, go forward, just start doing meditation. He doesn't do that. On third chapter, third chapter is karma yoga, right? Then comes fourth chapter, jnana yoga. So look at this. Karma is way before Gyan. Because if you don't work, if you don't survive, work is for survival. Each and every one of us are working, like it or not. If not anything else, we are breathing. That's work. And we are burning calorie. Then comes Jnana Yoga. Knowledge. We study. We use intellect. Fifth chapter, so Jnana Yoga. Fifth chapter, Arjuna says, look, I got the knowledge. I understand what I have to do. But you said Jnana Yoga is beautiful, very high quality. I will become a monk. Sannyasa Yoga. Chapter 5th, Sannyasa Yoga. He says, I'm going to go to the Himalayas. I don't need all this family thing. I'll be a sannyasi. I'll be a monk. So he says, Sannyasa Yoga. Then Sri Krishna explained what is Sannyasa Yoga. Chapter 6 comes Dhyana Yoga. So once we know the value of work, once we have the total knowledge of Advaita or spiritual studies, expert in that, then you say, the question, and I had a monk used to say, he used to say, you all do meditation? And everybody says, yeah, I do. But are you okay? No, I cannot concentrate, mind comes. What do you meditate on? Are you meditating on donut? That's the problem. What we are meditating on? So before we start meditation, we need to have this knowledge that what is the value of work? Without work, nothing will happen. What is the value of knowledge? Then only we can meditate. See, that's why the last class we went so much in detail. What is Brahman? This knowledge we need, this grammar we need before we meditate. Anybody and everybody just walk out and say, hey, I start meditation. What are you going to meditate on? That meditation is based on that Nirgun Brahman. Does it make sense? You see, how nicely it's organized. Since I'm doing this thing, let me go over the other chapters. In 7th chapter, Sri Krishna talks about Jnana Vijnana Yoga. Much more higher, detailed knowledge. One is knowledge, one is wisdom. Jnana Vijnana Yoga is that wisdom. It's not knowledge itself. When we study a subject, knowing about it is knowledge. But once we digest it, once we comprehend it, that's Vijnana. That is the wisdom. So we say someone, he's very wise. Wise means he digested the knowledge. Knowledge doesn't make you wise. Once we digest the knowledge, it makes my own. It's not somebody's talk. Archimedes said this, Newton said this. No, I realized it. I did my experiment and then I accepted. That point we become wise. So chapter 7 is Jnana Vijnana Yoga. Then he comes, chapter 8, Akshar Brahma Yoga. Shabda Brahma, Om. It's the absolute sound. We express ourselves. Vibration. It's a very deep subject. Akshar Brahma Yoga, Sri Krishna spent quite a bit of time. I'm not going to spend much time on it. Then come Raja Yoga. Yes, you can attain, realize this thing with yoga, with your exercise, and controlling air, pranavayu, controlling health. That you can do. That is Raja Yoga. So for yoga, and this is the another beauty in Bhagavad Gita. In different time, there were people who used to argue that, look, I do a lot of good stuff. I do spirituality, I do charity, I don't speak a lie, I do speak the truth, I am very upright. And a lot of young people say today that I don't need your religion. I am a perfect person because I do right thing only. I don't cheat, I don't lie. Then, is that make you perfect? Is that the end? And Bhagavad Gita telling us no. So, after Raja Yoga, Sri Krishna says Vibhuti Yoga. What is Vibhuti? Vibhuti in normal word is bhasya, which is ash. You see, when in India, the traditional system is we burn the body. And the idea is it came from some place with this material world. And then, of course, addition of Brahman. And you go back there. You don't hold on to anything. With all this worship, all these rituals in Sanatana Dharma, is we collect it, we do everything, and then dump it in the river. Can you imagine after months of work and dedication and worship on Dashami in Durga Puja time, we dump everything in the water. We don't hold on to anything. And that's reality. After 70, 80, 90 years, I cannot hold on to anything. I will be gone. So what you are trying to hold, you are not going to collect anything. And religion or the Sanatana Dharma continuously teaching us that none belong to you. This air, this oxygen, this tree, nothing belongs to you. You didn't come here with this table, you will not go with this table. So Vibhuti Yoga. Look at this. 11th chapter. Bhagavan Krishna says, Vishwarup Darshan. He gives his whole form. He could have given that the first chapter. That look, I am all in all. I am everything. It took him 10 chapters to wait, to prepare you. It took 10 chapters to prepare a devotee. Before Sri Krishna says, here I am. I am the all in all. Anything you see, nothing else outside me. Advaita philosophy, right? Nothing you see is me. I am all in all. Everything else is mithya, virtual. Again, Shanko says, is the part of the same Brahman. Advaita says, no, there is nobody. There is only one Brahman. And he is expressed in all of these things. The same grandfather, my 7th generation of DNA is passing through my grandkid. Is it true? Yes, it is true. Today we see that. We see what our seventh generation of DNA, and it's showing there. The first question today is medical science. They ask, did you have cancer in your family? What that has to do with my family? They're living in India. Someone, no, it has to do. So it's a continuous process, Brahman. In every step, we prove today that these rishis were so wise, so all-encompassing. It is not a one side, one part. It's all-encompassing. And it is not for any group of people, male or female, animal or plant. It's for everything. Tremendous audacity. You think about it, this is all in all, and that is true, is it not? California has flood, that bothers me. California has fire, that bothers me. Canada had fire, and I got smoke. It's causing me breathing problem or temperature rise. So it's all connected. It's all connected. At 11th chapter, Sri Krishna shows his full form. Here I am, this is what I am. It's so vast, and Arjuna is lost. So vast, so big, and the description is beautiful. Beautiful description, if you see Vishwarup Darshan. So now you know that. In 12th chapter, Sri Krishna comes Bhakti Yoga. You see devotion, he bringing devotion in 12th chapter. Why? Because now you know why you worship me. This is me. Now you give your devotion. You see, it's not a blind faith. There is a big difference with the traditional English word faith and in Sanatana Dharma is Bhakti Yoga. Bhakti is not the last point, is the beginning of a research. A scientist believes that if I go with this process, I will get a medicine of this disease. At the beginning, he has the bhakti. He didn't have logic. It is not all done. Then throughout his life, he kept on researching. But at the beginning, he assumed, we assume that this lady will be my wife, and then we make her a wife. It's a whole lifelong process. One fine morning, we didn't say it, right? And in every aspect of Sanatana Dharma, we see that. Then Bhakti Yoga. We talk so much about Bhakti Yoga, but Bhakti Yoga comes in 12th chapter. 12th chapter, because the same question, you want to do meditation? What are you going to meditate on? Donut? You cannot. So you need to know what you're going to meditate on. You want devotion? You need to know whom you are devoted to. And after you do Vishwarup Darshan, then said, you are ready. Now this is me, worship me. Right? All this time, he talked about different knowledge, different process of life. Then he comes in 13th chapter, Khetro Khetrogya Vibhago Yoga. Someone is a doer, and here is the thing that happening. This is the body, and someone is controlling. Khetro, the container, and content itself. Khetro, Khetrogya, somebody knowing that content, somebody putting that content in a pot. Khetro Khetrogya Vibhago Yoga. 13th chapter. 14th chapter, Gunotraya Vibhagojog. All this time, Bhagavad Gita didn't talk about you are not that big a deal. Then he comes, who you are. Gunotraya Vibhagojog, 3 qualities, Sattva, Raj. Then he comes, look who you are. You are composite of 3 types of quality in different percentage. And that's what we see in the society. There are Sattvagun, Rajagun, Tamagun. Based on our upbringing, based on our prior activity, we acquire some qualities. And that quality dictates how I behave in this world. You see, now, by this time, he's criticizing me. The rest of the time, it was all knowledge. At 14th chapter, he starts saying, this is what you are. And he gave beautiful description. What is the good food? What is the lifestyle? How a Sattaguni will behave? How somebody with Rajagun, somebody with Tamagun, what are the symptoms? Very detailed. What more do you expect? 15th chapter, Purushottama Yoga. Again he talks about Arjuna is confused, still confused. It took 80 chapters to this guy to convince him. See, that is the beauty of this literature, is it is a study for the seeker. Nobody telling you, I have the word, go run with it. No. Every devotee is a seeker. He's seeking the truth and he's questioning. And that's what Upanishad is all about. That's what Bhagavad Gita is all about. And Arjuna, Sri Krishna time to time saying, according to me, he is accepting the fact there could be other thoughts. A Sanatana Dharma monk will never say, this is the absolute truth. Absolute truth was never ending. It's never ending. You cannot say that you know everything. Somebody here somewhere in this universe is learning much more than you do. So Purushottama Yoga, still Arjuna is confused. And then he tells again, I am the extreme. I am all in all. 16th chapter, Daivasura Sampatti Vibhaga Yoga. He talks about quality, good quality, bad quality, and how that impact our life. That's 16. 17th chapter, Saddhatraya Vibhaga Yoga. Respect, acceptance for a devotee. Can you get the light, please? Yeah. Thank you. And based on our quality, Sattva, Raja, Tamo, Saddha, or respect to others, or acceptance of higher power, that is Saddhatraya Vibhaga Yoga. 18th chapter, he takes the whole Bhagavad Gita and summarized it. In 18th chapter, as the summary of the whole Bhagavad Gita. Everything he touched base. The point I'm trying to make, that if we want to practice this, we have a process. And this book very clearly detail it, the process. I think we'll not, okay. The question of meditation comes after the knowledge. after we realize what is this, what we meditate on. Now the question is, so once somebody had this knowledge, Brahman, what he does, he follows this process. He does the work of assuming Brahman in everyone. What is his quality? He is not angry on anybody. He doesn't have any interest. Because he knows that it is for 70, 80, 90, 100 years. Why you are fighting? Why, what is this? And we continuously doing that. But that teaching, so we talked about dharma. Dharma is our inherent quality. That is dharma. Now look at this Atma. When we talk Shagun Brahman, Nirgun Brahman, we talked about Atma, the insight, the mind. It's again related to time. A body dies. In India, once the dead body moves around, you take it to the crematorium. People will clean that area. It's already unholy. You see? Body is unholy. It is not holy. We clean that area. Body is destroyed.
Can you please talk about the difference between Shagun Brahman and Nirgun?
Shagun, Nirgun Brahman. Brahman by itself is all-pervading, untouchable, cannot explain it. But then the question comes, then what is this all around I am seeing? And Advaita is saying that this is, that Brahman is manifested in all of us. So that is the Shagun Brahman. Shagun Brahman, and that's where the word comes in modern time, very popular word, international brotherhood. Why is international brotherhood? It's not international, but it's universal brotherhood. Somewhere in some planet, something happening, it's me, it's my impact. Because the same Brahman in everywhere, it's all pervading, it's everywhere. In everywhere. Now the question comes that, okay, what happened? Somebody learned about all this. Yes, at that point, he is lost. That's samadhi. Nirvikalpa samadhi. It's a complete lost. He's not in him. Call him mad, call him crazy, and once in a lifetime we know those people. And they get with the samadhi. Once we realize it truly, at that point you have no belonging, no ownership. Then at that point you are just in the air, because you realize how mithya this whole thing is. You see, when the child is playing, the child is crying because toy is broken. You don't cry. You know it is mithya. It is just a toy. But your kid, your grandkid, they cry to death because that little toy is broken. We continuously cry just like that child, just not to realize that it is all a game. The other thing is, the answer to all this is, the question comes then, why God has to do all this creation? What is his purpose? Why he is doing that? And the one answer is, it's his game. It's his lila. We say lila. Lila is nothing but that's his game. Guru Paramananda Ji didn't need any of this. but it is game. This service, because it is bound by Maya. What is Maya? Temporary. Maya is temporary. It's there, it's not there. And it's virtual. But it's encompassing. It's just that movie. Movie is true, as long as I'm watching it. And we cry, and we get sad, we get angry. We see he is killing him. They are loving each other. They are doing all these things. But end of the day, it has a time and space. Only absolute is that Brahman. So a devotee learning this, meditate on it, then what? He can gain samadhi. That absolute realization. And at that point, the question is, we know that, or we heard it, that people can stay there only short time. Ramakrishna used to get samadhi, and only for a few minutes maybe. Because once he's full time on that, then he's not there, he's dead, he's finished. That is what we call it, goes with the Brahman. And that stage, that realization is so vast. It's that Vishwarup Darshan, Sri Krishna Vishwarup Darshan. Because once we know how vast is that power, and we can see even in small world, we see that power of that nature. Power of nature. That's just only one aspect of it. And every day we are seeing that. We see the fire, we see the flood, we see the storm. We're seeing that every day, the tremendous power. I'm an engineer by myself, and and we designed so many things. Over the years, last 100 years, we paved the world with concrete. Now we are seeing that it's not good. We cannot pave everything. There is other side of it. Sure, we need a pathway, we need a walkway, but we cannot continuously keep on paving or cutting trees. We did that, and we thought we create dam. Now we are saying every other day dam is breaking, because that power, that force. I mean, this week we heard 6 inches of rain in New Jersey. 6 inches of rain came in an hour. Comprehend that. It didn't come last 100 years. What happened in Texas, it didn't happen every day, but it happens. So the power of this is only one aspect of it. When we talk about Brahman, we talk all encompassing. I get tempted to touch base on few things. We don't have much time. Do you want to do a question answer session? I mean,
Sure. Question,
yeah, I think
we
let's.
touched on so many topics.
I know it is
it's
very
better
tough.
that we do
one at a time.
Q&A and
Right,
some
right.
discussion.
Okay, let's do it.
So you presented us a very good framework. Thank you. Exploring the Gita, I feel like we are climbing the mountain together. And as we sit in the moment, if we put our attention on Brahman, in quiet our minds, we will observe within ourselves either a steadiness of mind or a wandering of mind. So in order to practice this, you're describing and encouraging us to see it as a process. It's not an immediate. And just as Arjuna went through the various stages of his encounter with Lord Sri Krishna, similarly, our spiritual life is like that. If we just sit and we put our minds on Nirguna, Saguna, Brahman, formless and form, we observe we are one, we are one with Brahman, and we are that which we see, Tat Ram Asi. Is that a place from which you're speaking that we could begin a practice? is that a place on which, if we observe the temporality of the world, we'll put our attention on the non-temporal? That's a place.
Okay. I will start from the first class. Why we need spirituality? Why I am here? Because I want to be happy. I don't want misery. I have disease. I get hurt. People talk to me. People cheat me. Bad people, good people. I don't want to suffer. I want 100% happiness. How do I do that? Nishkam karma. And the process you are talking, meditation and all that, that is not the beginning, that's the end. Sravana, manana, nidishana. We hear, we contemplate, and then we digest. So, Nirgun Brahman is the ultimate stage. Once we realize it, it's gone, it's over. It's nothing more in it to do. Before that, I need Shagun Brahman. All this world around me. But, and Bhagavad Gita continuously explains what are their quality, his food habit, his lifestyle, all that, very, very simple language. It explains what he will eat, what he will do, how he think. Every work has its result. So no matter we like it or not, there will be fruit of action. But as soon as the fruit comes, I get tangled with it. This temple, monks get dedicated to a temple. 50 years, some monk give all his life. It's become his. No, it's not mine. I did it. It's enough. Even the temple is not mine. Even the God is not mine. Idol is not mine. We take that idol, dump it in the water on Dashami. How pathetic it could be. You know, in Durga Puja, in Saraswati Puja, people, students, they spend so much energy, creative mind, trying to dress it up, try to do. After the worship, dump it in the water. How pathetic it is. A French artist came in Calcutta. He says, this idol, you dump it in the water after 4 days. I say, yes, that's what we do. And next year, we create that again. We create the same idol, same dress up, same, much better way, new way. That's what my body is. That's what my body is, 70, 80, 90 years. That's it. Then what? Gone. And Sanatana Dharma continuously preaching that remember this. Then lot of petty fighting, petty bad feeling will go away. Only way we can do work is without expecting result for myself. Result will be there. As soon as you do work, there will be some good or bad. But it's not mine. Ramakrishna used to say that, the nurse, the lady who raised the kid, she does all this energy to raise that kid, just like her own kid. But end of the day, it's not my kid. That doesn't make it any less real, He does all this ashram work, and if he get attached to it, it will hurt him. So only way to do that, it's not mine. I did the best I could. Good or bad, that's up to somebody else. It's very easy to say, very hard to practice. So to answer your question, this realization comes through this 4 yoga. And it's not one. See, there was people who said, hey, I do all this good work. I don't need religion. No. That's what Sri Krishna said. We need all 4 of them. We need Raja Yoga, we need a healthy body. We need a healthy body, healthy mind, and knowledge, and vichara, intellect. this Jnana Yoga is very important because, not only very important, Bhagavad Gita tells us that it is possibly one of the most important yoga. Why? Because with all this devotion, we got to be careful that we don't get into superstition. How do I do that? Because throughout the world, a lot of things you do by superstition, by the name of scriptures. We do a lot of bad things. What will make that judgment? Intellect, logical analysis. And Bhagavad Gita talks about that. Bhagavad Gita, it has very clearly said that you got to be aware about it, that you don't start worshipping anything and everything. See, this word, scripture said this. Definition of scripture, what is the scripture? That's where anything in Sanskrit is not great. There are a lot of words in Sanskrit, a lot of verses in Sanskrit. That's anti-traditional culture or modern culture. So intellect come into play. It talks about so nicely. It says, you are doing worship, meditate. On Dhyana Yoga it says, you cannot be hungry. You cannot be full stomach. You cannot be hot. You need a pleasant atmosphere. You need a pleasant seat. You see, it talks about very crude way all the reality that we face every day.
Right.
It's a very common practice to do continuous fasting. Vivekananda says, no, you don't have to fast. God didn't tell you to fast continuously because you're weak. How can you have the judgment once you are weak? You have to have a healthy body, healthy mind, do the judgment, and do that. Did I answer your question?
Very good. Very good.
Anything?
Thank you, Mr. Datta.
No, I do have one question.
Well, go ahead.
So you talked about Aham Brahmasmi,
Aham Brahmasmi.
right?
Uh, I am the one.
Right? So we got that clear. Now at the same time, when you touched on Bhagavad Gita, you know, in the Vishwarup Darshan,
Vishwarup Darshan.
when Lord Sri Krishna says that
Right.
I am the,
I am all in all. I am everything.
so the concept in non-duality, where Aham Brahmasmi,
Mm.
does it conflict with Sri Krishna's Vishwarup Darshan,
No,
or do
no.
they converge in?
They converge.
Can you
They
please
converge.
explain and elaborate on that?
You see, if you read Vishwarup Darshan, we take literal wording. You see, a lot of teachers continuously explain that, vast, big mouth, all this thing going. You read it,
You can say
all this word is whole word. Is that power? That's all-encompassing power. You see, that's what he's telling. Everybody going in that mouth because it's total energy. And we see that a smaller form, this flood, this sapphire, part of nature, big wind, all that. And when combined all that is Vishwarup Darshan. And once we realize that, how vast is that? I am just a small particle, even less than a particle in that whole universe. In that whole universe. All these rocks, all this mountain, it took millions of years to get created. It's happening. As we speak, it's changing. It's continuously happening. Somewhat from the other universe, there will be meteor. We could be gone. There was dinosaurs was gone. Lot of animals were there, is not there today. And that's that power, that all-encompassing power. The Sanatana Dharma trying to give that a shape and a form, trying to bring that to a knowledge in a human mind. Dvaita is always with time and space. causation. Right? You say God, yes, once you die. Where is God? Somewhere. Not here. Advaita says, it's in you. You are there because you are the manifestation of that Nirgun Brahman, Shagun Brahman. I am the Brahman. I am the Brahman. I want to recite a small, you guys all heard about it. Sorry, Brian, this song is in Bengali, but you know the Sanskrit part. It will be saying.
Feel extreme fatigue or have blurred vision due to diabetes. Place this under your tongue and flush out sugar through your urine.
You will realize too because it's the famous Shetashwar Upanishad sloka. Right? Shetashwar Upanishad tells this, that we are that children of absolute bliss. At that point, there is no misery. It's all Anandam. It's Anandamaya Kosh. We learned that, we talked about it. Anandamaya. At that point, that realization bring you, what is moksha? What is nirvana? What is mukti? Mukti from this misery, this death, this suffering. That's what Buddha was fighting for. He thought about all his life. Only issue is that at the end he came out to be Shunna. There is nothing else. This life is all of it. But this life cannot be all of it because all around me I am seeing this Vishwarup. All I have to close my eyes and realize it. I don't see it. If I close my eye, I see how big is this temple, what it took to make this temple. Just a smaller scale. Now take that to a country, take that to a palace, take that to a whole world. Just behind this temple, this room, this building, there is a 50 years work. Hundreds of people. Our monk, Swami Amaratananda, gave his whole life doing this temple. But we don't realize that every minute. But behind the scene is there. That's his Vishwarup. Vishwarup is the same thing in a much larger scale. Whole universe. The whole universe. And that's why in Sanatana Dharma, the word we use, Sarve Bhavantu Sukhinam, Sarve Santu Niramaya. It's not my group. It's not my family. Everyone in this universe We pray that. We say, Sarve bhavantu sukhinam, sarve santu niramaya. May everybody be happy. May everybody be peaceful. That's our aspiration. That's our goal. That's our realization. I cannot do a lot of it, but at least I can. Once I realized it, a lot of this petty thing goes away. I don't suffer anymore because, hey, it's not mine. It's very impersonal. It sounds very selfish, but that's what it is. End of the day, nothing belongs to me. Not this family, not my wife, kid, anything. This house, right? Any other question? We'll do a prayer at the end. Okay? We'll end with a short Advaita Upanishad prayer. Om Purnamadaya Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadayo Purnamevaha Vishishyate. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. This is the very core of Upanishad. It came from that total. That's the whole. And it's all in me. Purnasya Purnamidam. We regularly recite this, but we don't realize this one verse, if we can continuously discuss it. Aham Brahmasmi is that. Upanishad talks again and again in different language. Aham Brahmasmi. I am that Brahman. What an audacity. No big deal. I am. It's here. Why? If I can remove the ignorance, then I can say it. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you for coming.
So much.
Brian, I think Swamiji will be here.